तो आइए आज जीबा इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में एक शख्सियत को मैं दावत दे रहा हूं जो आपको समझाने वाली हैं कि रोल ऑफ बिजनेस वुमेन इन इस्लाम। और इसके लिए मैं आप सब के बीच बुलाऊंगा मिसेस शमीम राशिद सुमैर को, जो कि वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है रॉल्फ जेनसन एंड एसोसिएट्स दुबई यूएई। तो हम सब मिलकर मिसेस शमीम राशिद सुमैर को वेलकम कहेंगे। वो हमें बताएंगी कि बिजनेस वर्ल्ड में औरत की क्या अहमियत है और इस्लाम उसे किस तरह देखता है।
Respected community elders and fellow conference guests, Assalamu alaikum. It is an honor to have the opportunity to speak to you today. I must apologize that I'm not able to deliver my remarks in Hindi or Gujarati, so please bear with my accent and I'll try to speak a little slowly. When I was first requested to give this presentation, I thought, wow, a whole room full of Muslim businessmen are going to listen to me talk about Muslim women. As a female engineer, I'm used to being the only female in the room at my meetings and presentations. But honestly, I'm really excited and proud to see so many women here in the audience at the conference and exhibition today. I hope that I will be able to encourage my fellow ladies to continue in succeeding in their current business endeavors and inspire young women to follow a career path that they enjoy and at the same time raise successful families that will continue to contribute to our Muslim Ummah. So let's begin on this topic of the role of business women in Islam by looking back in history at the first Muslim businesswoman. She was not only the first Muslim businesswoman, she was the first Muslim woman, and in fact, she was the first Muslim, the first person to accept the message of the Holy Prophet, and that was Khadija bint Khuwailid, the wife of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bibi Khadija, in fact, managed one of the most successful trade caravans in Arabia. It is said that when the Quraysh's trade caravans gathered to embark upon their long and difficult journeys from Arabia to Syria during the summer or Yemen in the winter, the size of Bibi Khadija's caravan equaled the caravans of all of the other caravans of the Quraysh put together. As a result of her economic success, she enjoyed a very high and respected status in the pre-Islamic society of Arabia. When the Holy Prophet of Islam first received the revelation, she was his first supporter and vouched for the truth of his prophecy to the Quraysh during the days when the Holy Prophet was ridiculed for his beliefs and endured persecution along with his followers. Bibi Khadija remained loyal and supportive throughout her life to the Holy Prophet and to the survival of Islam. At a time when the Muslim Ummah was fledgling and the Muslims were under an embargo, basically barred from engaging in any business activities and unable to sustain their livelihood, the early Muslims were able to survive on the proceeds from Bibi Khadija's success as an entrepreneur. Bibi Khadija gave from the wealth of her success to sustain the Muslim Ummah. It was because of her loyalty that Islam and Muslims were not wiped out during those initial days from starvation and persecution. Without her success as a businesswoman, the Muslim Ummah would have perished. So the idea of the Muslim businesswoman is nothing new, but a concept which has been alive since the birth of Islam, 1400 years ago. It is certainly a concept on which the existence of Islam and Muslims was founded, and Bibi Khadija remains in our hearts as a role model, not only as a successful businesswoman, but as a loyal wife and devoted mother to her children. How can we apply the example of Bibi Khadija to our role as women and as businesswomen today? More importantly, why should we even care to encourage women in business? I'm going to try to answer this question for my skeptics. Today, the presence of women in the workforce is a reality, not a pipe dream. Women are educated, attending universities all over the world. It is estimated that 60% of all college graduates across Asia, America, and Europe are women. That's more than half of all college graduates. Women run some of the world's most renowned companies, such as Pepsi Company, Archer Daniels Midland, and W.L. Gore. In the next 10 years, approximately 1 billion women will enter the global economy and join the workforce. In an article published by Bloomberg just this past Thursday, 1st November, a new study by Booz & Company, that's a US-based consultancy, estimates that if female employment rates were to match male rates in the United States, for instance, overall gross domestic product would rise by 5%. In Japan, similar initiatives would increase gross domestic product by 9%. In other growing economies such as India, the effect would increase the gross domestic product by over 10%. From an online article at infochangeindia.org, at the height of the economic slowdown in 2008, India's third annual IT Women Leadership Summit in Bangalore declared that workplace diversity and gender inclusion are a necessity for business today. The event organizers cited women as a key and vital part of the workforce and projected that industry will continue to work towards creating a friendly environment and attract more women employees and leaders. Workplace diversity in industry gives it an edge, a leading edge in the marketplace, and is therefore of even greater importance in times of economic recession and slowdown. We are moving into a future of labor shortages, skill gaps, and a world in which the education and economic empowerment of women will become increasingly important. The world is searching for a path to global economic recovery, and women are the solution. It is the duty of our women to excel in every field and to contribute to the progress and advancement of the Ummah and humanity. Women make up a huge market in terms of consumers. We have a great need for female teachers, doctors, dentists, physical therapists, bankers, cosmetologists, translators, and many other service providers. If we don't fulfill these and other occupations with females, our women and communities will be at a huge loss. Similarly, Muslim women should increase their contributions in science, business, and political activism. There is a great need for women in business and industry leadership to serve as political, social, and business role models. The opportunities are limitless. When I talk about women in leadership roles, I came across an interesting article during my research on the topic of women in business, and it's from a December 2008 story that was published in the Times of India. It discussed a study conducted by placement organization Team Lease, and this was part of a series of studies to understand India's new world of work. The survey questioned an equal number of male and female employees, and the average respondent's age was 28 years. The study found that the city of Kolkata was found to be extremely biased in its view of women workers. And I hope I'm not offending any attendees from Kolkata. I'm just relaying the study results from the newspaper article. I certainly didn't write the study. Only 20% of Kolkata survey respondents said that they would prefer women bosses. However, a couple of cities, Ahmedabad for one, and Pune, had more progressive views, where nearly 40% of respondents had voted in favor of having a female boss. This study reminded me of the story of the Holy Prophet's marriage to Bibi Khadija. In fact, Bibi Khadija hired Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She hired him prior to him receiving the revelation to escort a trading caravan to Syria on her behalf. She was advised to hire the Holy Prophet for this job, as he was well respected for his trustworthiness. Upon his return, she was so pleased and impressed by his truthful business practices that she sent a friend to inquire to the Holy Prophet on whether he would consider a marriage proposal. Ultimately, the response was positive, and at the end of the day, Prophet Muhammad married his female boss. Anyway, I found the female boss study results quite interesting and hope I did not offend anyone by relaying the results or drawing parallels to Islamic history. Nonetheless, in order to succeed in business and in the global economy, women cannot do it alone. They need the moral support of their husbands and their families. The family unit cannot suffer because mom has gone to work. Equally important as the entrepreneurial spirit encouraged by Islam is the strength of the family unit. A successful Muslim home makes a successful Muslim family. Successful Muslim families make a successful Muslim community. Successful Muslim communities are what build the Muslim Ummah. Although there is a clear role for women in the business world, they also have a role in making their families successful. In fact, if we go back to the example of Bibi Khadija, we cannot forget her role as a wife and a mother. She played an integral role in supporting the Holy Prophet of Islam and in raising Bibi Fatima alayhi salam. Bibi Khadija was known as the mother of Islam, and after her death was placed in the rank as one of the 4 perfect women of heaven. Bibi Khadija served as a primary role model to Bibi Fatima. And we as mothers must similarly serve as role models to our children, and especially to our daughters. They can see in our struggles to succeed in our careers and in motherhood, the dedication and hard work we put forward. As they grow to become young adults and ultimately mothers themselves, they will remember our efforts. Our positive work ethic will be instilled in them as they go forward in their careers and take care of their families. The working Muslim family must be a partnership between mother and father and include cooperation between younger entrepreneurs and their extended families. What do I mean by this? Based on the literature available upon the subject, there are 2 basic issues that serve as challenges to educated women in achieving their full potential. These issues are described as the care economy and inclusion. With regards to the care economy, women are considered the primary caregivers for children, the elderly, and the sick, and it is perceived that this burden hampers their economic development. As for childcare, it's understood by mothers how difficult it is to leave one's children in the care of others and return to the workplace. The lack of professional yet affordable childcare solutions worldwide, offering extended hours, is an established challenge to women in business. Increasingly, however, elder care is becoming a difficult challenge as well. If you remember the BOOS study I noted earlier, this was the study that projected increase in gross domestic product with increase in the number of women in the workforce. This study found that elder care obligations far outweigh child care responsibilities in countries such as India and China, where 94 and 95% of their survey respondents, respectively, care for their parents. Whereas child care is a challenge to women at perhaps the beginning of their careers, elder care is seen as a specific challenge to women professionals, potentially affecting them just as their careers may be reaching their full potential. Cultural insistence that a daughter's first duty is to her parents and her parents-in-law causes many women to either cut back on their career ambitions or leave the workforce altogether. As the human life expectancy increases and people continue to live longer, the elder care issue will grow as a challenge to women's success in business. The second major challenge I mentioned to women in the workforce was inclusion in the workplace environment. Once women begin to move ahead in their chosen career paths, their forward momentum can be disturbed by many factors. These factors include, but are not limited to, disparities in the pay ratio between men and women, a void of female leaders who serve as political, social, and business role models, and difficulty for women to obtain financial credit for their entrepreneurial dreams. These factors determine whether women feel their career ambitions are supported or dismissed. Women routinely encounter unfairness in the workplace, and this unfairness can lead women to feel isolated or consider dropping out of the workforce altogether. These 2 issues can be addressed in both our communities as well as by our enterprises. Families must work together to support women in the workplace. Men and women must cooperate to solve the care economy issue by sharing the burdens of supporting the family, both the economic support and the social support. Similarly, both the care economy and inclusion challenges can be addressed by employers. Employers who recognize that high potential women are being sidelined by these issues. If companies want to see their talented women reach their maximum potential, they will have to recognize the magnitude of the child and elder care problems and help provide high-quality, accessible care solutions, such as on-site child care, flexibility in work schedules, or extra time off to care for sick parents. Further, companies must recognize if their work environment is holding back rising female stars and create procedures and programs that protect, support, and sustain women's ambition, such as mentoring and professional development programs. Even small changes that will help ease these burdens on women will lead to great economic and social benefits for our women and for our families. In conclusion, in our role as business women, we must struggle to be the best entrepreneurs, the best mothers, and the best role models for our children, and in particular for our daughters. I thank you very much for your time and your patience. I hope that I've encouraged my fellow ladies to continue in succeeding in their current business endeavors and encourage my fellow young women to follow a career path that they enjoy and at the same time raise successful families that will continue to contribute to our Muslim Ummah. Thank you.